Okay, cool. So today I'm with Tag and Danny from the amazing UK band The Treatment, whose previous album, Power Crazy, was number 5 on the Still Spinning Top 40 of 2019, and whose new album, Waiting for Good Luck, comes out on April 9th on Frontier Records. So first of all, guys, welcome and thanks so much for being here.
Oh, I see you, man.
And congrats on the new album, guys. Like, it is an absolute monster of an album, start to finish.
Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks, bud.
I'm totally stoked about talking to you guys today because when Power Crazy came out, it was really it really never left my phone. I was using it as my workout, soundtrack basically for a better part of a year. And when I heard you guys were doing a next album, I was like, okay, I'm really excited about this, but I'm wondering if you guys can top it. And not only did you top it, you guys just went like completely crazy.
Because you got a lot in store for you.
It was awesome. I've listened to it. I generally don't stream albums when I review. I wait for them to come out, and that way I can to digest them a bit. But this album, I've literally listened to it probably start to finish maybe 25 times. Like, it's just amazing. So you guys must be really thrilled with how it came out.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, definitely through the circumstances we went through during, obviously COVID and stuff, and finding a way to actually record the album, I think it come out amazing considering what we were up against at that particular time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I bet. Now, was the writing process different because of the situation, or what was that like compared to what you guys did for, say, Power Crazy?
I think if anything, we actually had more time in pre-production because we all live close to each other in the same area. We managed to form a bubble. So when everyone went into lockdown, we continued to just write and basically jam ideas, and we had 5 to 6 months of just pure music, which we haven't had in probably about 5-6 years. So
it
was amazing to have that much time to actually hone in on the material and really work this album. So I think if anything, COVID actually benefited us for this record.
Yeah, cool. And is it the kind of thing that when you guys are together, like the inspiration just sort of comes, or do you guys have to work at it?
Oh, it's completely, you got to work at it. I think the writing process was actually pretty similar because it's with us and then obviously Dan's dad, Laurie. So he produces us as well. And I think for him, having the amount of time we had to be able to actually work on music was amazing. So in that sense, that was really, that was great for us. But the huge difference for this album was the recording process, which is the first time we'd ever recorded an album live. Which really, that's I think what you can tell the difference.
Yeah, the energy is absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah, it was literally just us 5 guys in a room, and that's literally there was hardly any editing, hardly anything. We went completely stripped back and old school with the way we recorded this record. And I think a lot of records these days are kind of they lose the magic. Even though the production nowadays is absolutely unbelievable, and the things you can do with Pro Tools and stuff, it kind of loses that magic what you get in the early 70s and 80s records, and that's what we to capture on this record. So we thought we're going to go in, we're just going to get the band as tight as possible, and we're just going to steam through the album, and it ended up working out.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned that 70s vibe, which I completely get all over this album. One track that stands out to me that's totally in that vibe is Lightning in a Bottle. That has that 70s classic Aerosmith sort of riff in there. That's one of my faves on the entire album. Because of that. And similarly, they had that fun bluesy note, Barman. Near the end of the album. That song I found kind of like a fun, whimsical sort of song, right? That I think everybody can relate to.
Yeah, it's just a boozer song.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely killer tracks all the way along. One thing I found with this album over the last one is that I think you guys took a huge step forward in terms of the evolution of the melodies in the music, both in the actual musical performances, but also the vocal melodies. Was that a conscious effort this time, or was that a result of having so much more time, or?
It was definitely a conscious effort because we knew with this record we really wanted to smash Power Crazy out the park, and we knew that we'd have to make certain changes and certain directions in this record to top what we did. It's cool being like AC/DC, but we want to be more than that in the long term. You know what I mean? We want to be the treatment. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we wanted to kind of evolve from the kind of AC/DC sound, and like we're obviously massive Cult and Def Leppard fans.
Yeah.
And obviously working with my dad, who produces us, we all made the conscious effort to step more into that direction, and it's definitely heavier on the BVs and the kind of gang vocals and that stuff on this record.
Yeah, for sure. Which I'm a huge fan of that kind of sound, and that definitely came across like that the gang vocals and all of that was really really heavy into there. And one of the other things is that what I noticed on a few songs, especially Vampirus, actually, was melodies that were really similar to that wouldn't be out of place on one of the top Buckcherry albums, as an example, right? I know you guys toured with them or whatever, right? So did you take any inspiration from seeing them day in, day out?
Yeah. The last tour we did before the whole COVID thing was actually Buckcherry was over here.
Yeah.
We had a nice little run of the UK that was great, and I think those boys were really good to us. And Stevie D was awesome. He hopped up on one of the nights with us.
Oh, nice.
Which was quite fun. I think he's a big fan of the band, and I wouldn't say we drew inspiration from them, but it was great having them on the road.
Yeah. Cool.
I think I don't know. I think because rock is like, you're always going to be influenced by someone, and you're always going to, even if it's an idea it's completely come into your head from nowhere.
Yeah.
It's only once you record it and then start listening to other stuff, you'll pick it out, and you've taken it from somewhere you didn't even realise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that you've heard in the past, and it's always stuck in your head. So there's always, you know what I mean? We always admit, you know what I mean? We're heavily drawn on our influences, but I think, you know what I mean, that's the sound that we like, you know.
Yeah. Well, and certainly, I think on this record, more than any of the others, and certainly I think you've certainly evolved as a band. I certainly have all of your albums and EPs and whatever since the beginning. Definitely, you guys have evolved as a sound, and I think you guys probably nailed the treatment sound, right? Where you've taken all those influences and now you have a sound that is while it's reminiscent of those things, it's strictly you guys.
Yeah, definitely. I think the thing with this album, Waiting for Good Luck, is it's like when we started out the band is how we pictured ourselves sounding. You know what I mean? Which took the last 10 years. Like when we recorded This I Might Hurt, our first record, I was only 17. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the amount of like tours on the road and the amount of times being in the studio, it's all been like a progression. You know what I mean? To finally getting to the point where we are, like, as a band, like, you know what I mean, we played together as a sealed unit, and it's taken like 10 years of hard work and graft to be able to get to the level we're at now, and I think we've finally come through with the album, kind of will put us on the map, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is an album that like the entire world needs to hear, not just the rock world, but the whole world needs to hear it, because the melodies are great, the lyrics are fun and insightful. The riffs are in your face. The production is amazing. It's just stellar, top to bottom. One of the things that I noticed in the evolution of your band, that when Tom joined the band, it was sound. It was a remarkable difference, and I found that the music changed as well. What did Tom bring to the band that I think the gelling process for the band started really when Tom joined?
Definitely, yeah. I think. So when we obviously started with our original singer Matt, like our first album, This Might Hurt, it attracted a lot of the right people. You know, I mean, we had Nikki Sixx and Gene Simmons, and they took us to the States for the first time and that sort of stuff. We did a lot of touring with that, and then when Matt left, we were left in a difficult position because like to find a rock singer like that at 25, 26, you know what I mean? Like, it's a hard process. It's not 1985 anymore when everyone's singing like
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
It's hard to find someone with a range, let alone a rock singer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then, as second singer Mitchell, we went down a different sort of path because it's what we had to work with, you know what I mean? It was our best option at that time.
Yeah.
Before we even ever knew Tom was. And some fans liked it, some didn't. It was Generation Me was a period of the band which like kind of drew a lot of opinions of whether people liked it or not.
Yeah.
But as Mitchell left, and then I discovered Tom through he had a band on Facebook, and I come across their page. I really like.
You have a nose for just sniffing out. Like, really Dan's always what he finds. I
was like, I really like this guy's voice because he's got that sort of raspiness Matt had. So I approached him and asked him what he was doing, and at the time he wasn't really doing anything. He come down, auditioned, and took it from there. But I think from Tom joining, we managed to get back onto the path that we initially set out on.
Yeah.
Whereas Mitch took us in a swerve in a different place where we wasn't necessarily envision the band on going, but thankfully we got back on track to where we wanted the band to be.
Cool.
It's not the music isn't changing. I think we're just more returning to its roots on the last two albums, really.
Yeah.
Rather than going in a different direction.
Yeah. Certainly, it harkens back to what you started for sure, and I've kicked it up for sure. On the album, you said you were able to record it. I think I heard that you were able to record basically the majority of the albums. I think there were some overdubs and some vocals, I think. But other than that, I think they said you recorded it in 4 days.
It was actually even less than 4 days. We had 4 days, but that was including setting up.
Oh, wow.
The sound. And it was 4 days was it. So it was actually done in about 2.5. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's
and
that's
we
stellar.
had 15 tracks in the end because not all of them made the album. So
okay.
Kind of waiting for whatever comes next.
Okay. Cool. Well, for those people that are listening, there's 3 more awesome tracks out there that.
Oh, there's going to be a whole nother. Don't worry. It's COVID, man. What else are we going to do?
But also, I think we were very lucky since we managed to get into Rockfield Studios, and it was like we recorded in the same room. Bohemian Rhapsody was recorded.
Sweet.
So it was very much like there was definitely an energy in that room.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, do you guys feel that when you go into a place like that?
The first thing we saw, like we were
grand piano.
Yeah, when we arrived like the night before we started, and like the engineer Nick was showing us around the studio. I was like, here's where you're going to be setting up. And by the way, that's the piano Bohemian Rhapsody was recorded, just sat in the corner.
Oh, awesome.
All right. You know what I mean? So it's just like the whole place was like a museum of memorabilia. It was mad.
Oh, awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, it would be hard not to take some inspiration from that and apply it to whatever you're doing for sure.
I think it's just that moment when you're all in a studio together. Like, it was something that we had never done before as well, which was a huge difference for us. So it was an amazing challenge, and just soaking up all the vibe while you're there. You know, there's not many people who get a chance to do those kind of things.
Yeah.
There's, you either you sink or swim, and we made the most of it, and it was brilliant as well because they were filming I think they filmed a documentary on Rockfield.
Yeah.
And on one of the nights it was airing on I think it was ITV or BBC. So it's quite cool that we stopped recording, got to watch the whole history of everything. And,
that's neat.
It's like, well, up for a bit more, and we cracked onto it. It was great because you can go at any time of day. You're stuck on a farm. You can't go anywhere.
It's one of the, I think.
That's great.
It's one of the only live-in studios left in England. So
it's still a working farm.
So it's like you literally you can record up until 1, 2 in the morning, go to bed, get up, go straight back at it. So it was.
Oh, that's great. So you're able to make the most of the time. That's cool. That's cool. And is that, I know the Dead Daisies did that on their last album, Holy Ground. Was that they went somewhere and they lived there and they recorded it while they were doing it. Was that a fun experience for you guys? Like actually living and breathing it day in, day out for 2 or 3 days?
We live every single day, but I think due to the circumstances we're going through, we had no gigs lined up or anything like that because everything had been cancelled. It was almost like we were going to play a gig. That was like, it's like we'd wait months to get in there. We were so buzzing to be there.
That was a whole kind of build up while we were locked in. It's
okay.
Like, right, this is the kind of what we're waiting for to get to that moment.
Yeah.
But loads of work happened afterwards though, because obviously the raw tracks were all recorded there, but then all the overdubs and vocals were done so Laurie has his own production studio here in Cambridge, and then all the rest of the work. And I think kind of where the real work starts is, like you said, the work on the melodies and stuff, and all the work he did was then done afterwards. So the raw tracks were done in 2.5 days, but then it was months afterwards of all the kind of final little touches.
Sure.
Make a record,
Yeah, absolutely. And certainly the production on this album is top notch. So what did Dad bring to this, Danny?
Everything. Like, he's like the sixth member of the band. You know what I mean? Like, the thing with my dad, he's been in the business for absolute years. He was in a band called More during the whole new wave of British heavy metal. He really went out on tour with Iron Maiden and Crocus and them bands. And then throughout the 80s, he was in a band called Air Race, who had Joker and Bonham on drums.
Yeah, awesome.
He did that, went out on tour with Queen and that sort of stuff. So my dad's like a very known person within the music business.
Yeah, absolutely.
And really respected as a producer. And it's like, you know what I mean? He's also my dad, so it's the best person that we could possibly go to, you know what I mean?
For sure.
So, but yeah, and as well, it's so easy to work with because, you know what I mean?
You've got that family connection.
You know he's 100% wants the best out of us, you know what I mean? We've got the relation there.
Yeah.
And it's just like, where we've been together for so long, we immediately gel and we all think in the same way. You know what I mean? Like, we almost feel the direction that he wants to produce the track in while he's doing it because we're so connected, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, whatever was done was stellar. It came across really great. Now, what would you say that would be the hardest song that you guys wrote? Like, what was the hardest track to actually finalize?
Lightning in a Bottle,
I think this one, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because it's just the feel of the actual track and it's getting it right because it was like it could so easily because it's quite a kind of a weird pattern.
It's a very weird pattern. I think it was more just getting the right
and
feel.
It's getting the feel to it because it's definitely a feel-based track. You know
what
I mean? And
totally.
If the feel isn't right, it ruins the whole thing. So that was the one I think we spent the most time on.
I do remember we did that. We started that one late at night, and then we listened to it back. Like, this is not happening. Everyone go to bed, scrap it. Start tomorrow. It's kind of weird thing because we got on a roll. We were doing like song after song, and then you hit that one, and then you're like, when you feel that confidence shattering.
Yeah.
But then we came in the next day, and I think it's for me like one of my favorite on the album as well.
Yeah.
The way it turned out, and it's just killer riff.
Yeah, it is. It's a killer riff. Yeah. As soon as it kicked off, and I had my 10-year-old son in the room with me when I listened to that the first time, and he was jumping up and down, and I was stomping my foot right along with it. So it was it immediately hit a chord with him as well. So
you've got that perfect tempo, and
yeah.
I mean, it's tempo you can like move to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you definitely want to move.
See how that goes down live as well, because it's always this one thing when they're on the record, you don't know how the song's kind of going to come across live.
Yeah.
And that's what we're really looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that live one day too. Would you say that that's your favorite track you think to play live, or
Never played it jam yet. So
yeah, no, yeah. I obviously haven't played it live, but when you think about it,
it's like we've got Andy in the band, the new bass player. We've met up with him 3 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like we just can't wait to even get back into rehearsals. You know what I mean? And that'll be when we start to judge what we're going to put into the set and what we're not, what we're going to cut, etc. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Now, speaking of live, you guys obviously have to be chomping at the bit to get out there and back out live, playing for people. I did see that you actually have 3 headlining gigs already sort of lined up, right? In the UK, Call of the Wild Festival in July, Nas Fest in August, and then Gravity Festival in October.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so hopefully if all goes to plan, we don't know. We're in like a 5-step rule thing at the moment. So every 5 weeks they're going to be evaluating
Okay.
the situation of COVID. So hopefully leading up to July, they're going to get rid of restrictions potentially.
Right.
We don't. Anything could happen.
For sure.
We're just. It's nice to be able to say we're playing this. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think as well. The gig offers that have come in have been brilliant for us. You know, they're really, really great, and it might help the UK music scene anyway, because at the moment it's only UK bands that can play these festivals.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the stuff that's going ahead. So it's it's a great start for us, and the band's really on the up.
It's a great thing for British bands as well, because in the UK we get bands from all over, and then sometimes the up and coming UK bands can sometimes get overlooked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a great thing for like the British rock scene to like kind of make a resurgence. You know what I mean? And then hopefully we'll go on to play for the rest of the world, discover these bands that aren't being discovered currently. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And being from Canada, like, you know, rock isn't as big, unfortunately, in Canada and in North America in general as over it is in Europe. And certainly, you know, as a general statement, you know, I would make, at least what I'm seeing, is that the rock scene in the UK is just exploding with all of these amazing bands like yourself. And it's a shame that many more of them aren't you know, appreciated as much as they should be.
But yeah, I mean, we've definitely seen it grow over the last 10 years. So I remember when we first started, I think there was about 5 or 6 bands. We were just trying to think of how many different varieties we could all do the same gig together. You know?
Yeah.
Like it'd be like I remember like when we started, it was like us band with Black Spiders, Jet Black, it just rotates support. So any big band that would come, it would be like us and the Black Spiders, or Jet Black and the Black Spiders, or the Treatment and Jet Black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we've seen it gradually like grow and grow, and now there's like a whole. It's called the new wave of classic rock.
Yeah.
And that's slowly starting to build. So it's still quite underground, but it's big within the underground.
I think,
you know what I mean?
as well with COVID, it's kind of given, you know, because a lot of bands have had a really hard time, but it's only the people who are really serious about doing it have been able to make it through this time.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to see a real cool resurgence of, you know, very creative things happening, and, you know, new bands coming through the scene.
Yeah.
Which I think it's going to be great for the whole industry.
Yeah, I think kind of in a weird way, COVID's probably the bands that are serious about it, like that are in it for the music. I think for the most part, we're starting to see it now, right? All of the albums that are being released are generally really good. Like, so bands are taking the time to, you know, to do things in a different way than they haven't been before, and come out with stuff even better.
Like to have 6-7 months work on something, you know, uninterrupted, is something that we've never ever had before.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, you know, I think, you know, if you want to do it, it's given a lot of people the chance to be able to do that, which is amazing. And
Absolutely.
I think as well with fans, it's really, a lot of fans have been incredible and realise how much bands rely on their support.
Yeah, right now.
And I think we're going to see a massive change in that. People who, you know, want to support the up and coming bands and support the individual bands, and, you know, go straight to them to support them, which is great, you know, because it's what the music industry needs at the moment, because it's in a bad place, and to really, you know, see people actually going out of their way to support them is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. There'll be a pent up demand for live music too, I think, right? So, right. So hopefully, you know, guys like yourself will. Yeah, absolutely. Now, for people like myself that I haven't had the chance yet to see you guys perform live, whenever you get back on stage, what can fans expect from a treatment show?
God knows, after this, it will be the wildest show you've ever seen. We have so much built up energy, and
I think
it's, you know, it's a live honest show. It's not, you know, we're not glitzy, we're not glamorous.
It's
we're
just
just
going to
rough
be loud
and
guitars,
ready.
drums,
Yeah,
and vocals, like
you know,
an old
raw.
AC/DC show.
That's
Yeah, sweet. That's That's awesome. Any chance you guys coming over the pond here to North America and tour at some point?
It's since we came and
we worked out. It's nearly been 10 years since we last were in America. We're just itching to get back. It's just like we've never. The thing with America, it's so big for us to warrant doing it financially and stuff. We'd have to be out there for a good few months, and it's to find a band that will go out for that long. You know what I mean?
I think that there's been a huge change with this record as well. Frontiers have really supported us, and they've given us a full service of the record as well in the US, which is something we've never had before. So I think a lot of doors are opening up for us, and it's 100% going to be something on the cards if we can make it work. That we will 100% be.
For sure.
When we first went out to America, we didn't even have a label guy out there. Like, we were literally we're getting our albums out there by selling it at the merch. You know what I mean? And I think we ended up starting. So it's definitely on the bucket list. Definitely, like we'd love to get back out to America, and there's definitely like a small scene growing for British bands out there as well. Like we've seen the Struts and a few other bands that are making waves out there. So I definitely think like we'll have our time out there at some point.
I always thought like it would be awesome if 3 or 4 really cool up and coming UK bands would like build a tour around themselves and bring the almost like the UK invasion too, right?
Yeah, that's a great idea, man. It's something we should definitely think about. It'd be amazing. I think it's just such a huge country. With the UK, you can do 10 shows and you've done the circuit.
That's right. And everything's closer together too, so you can just hop in a van and go as opposed to.
For us, it was like someone saying, "Oh, it's just down the road. It's only 4 or 5 hours drive to a show." In the UK, mate, you wouldn't sit in a car for more than half an hour. If it's more than half an hour drive, it's now we'll catch them on another day.
Yeah, that's right.
Different concept.
I remember when we first went to America, like how big Texas was blew our minds.
Oh yeah.
We drove for like 3 days. We're still not out of Texas.
You could drive 3 days and not see anything. Just like.
Like it's just like to think of how small our country is. Like, you know what I mean? Like you drive 3 hours and you'll find like 5 different accents. You know?
Yeah.
In one state, you can have a desert and go skiing. Like for us, it's just same weather wherever you go.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an amazing country, but it's 100%. It was an amazing experience for us last time, and it's something that we really would love to do again.
Cool.
So it's something that is going to be worked on.
Well, fingers crossed for sure. Fingers crossed for sure. Changing gears a little bit. One of the things I always like to ask bands is, have you? What was your first band T-shirt that you guys bought?
First band T-shirt. I think mine was probably AC/DC. I saw them at Wembley when I must have been about 10 with my parents, and it wasn't even a proper one. I got it from like a bootlegger outside.
Okay.
I think that was my first one. It was on the Stiff Upper Lip tour.
Okay, yeah, I saw that tour as well. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think mine was Deep Purple show actually. I went.
Awesome.
Mate, I must have been 13, maybe 12. I went with my mum was a big fan. And, she saw the ticket. It was just when I was starting to get into music. She's like, "Oh, you've got to come check out this band." I don't really know anything about them at the time because I was just starting to play guitar. And they played in Astoria in London. It must have been only to like 1,000 people max.
Oh wow!
Because you see Deep Purple now, and they're filling out arenas.
Yeah, that's right.
But they were not big. And I remember mine was from. I remember she was like, "I'm not going to buy you one for 20 quid outside." I mean the merch. She bought me one outside.
Yeah.
I think it came off after about 2 washes, and then
They all kind of one of these things happening after you wash it and stuff, right?
Like the D left. The first proper gig I ever went to.
Oh yeah, was Deep Purple? That was your first gig?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I think it had The Answer on support actually.
Oh, The Answer, yeah. I've seen them too. They're awesome. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. No. Awesome stuff, guys. I'm cognizant of the time here. Very, very happy that you guys are able to join me today to talk. Waiting for Good Luck is an absolute stellar album. I can almost guarantee you that it'll be in the top 5 at least. To me, it's so far it's the #1 album of the year by far. So you've set the bar really high for everybody coming after you. So it'll be in there. It'll be in the mix for sure for the top album at the very least. For this year. So anybody that hasn't heard the treatment, you need to hear the treatment. You need to check out this album. You need to go buy it. You need to buy T-shirts. You need to buy everything to support these guys. Awesome stuff, guys.
I appreciate it, man.
So thanks a lot again, and I hope maybe we can hook up again and talk again.
Anytime. Well, I guess you wait for good luck, and we'll be waiting to tour America, all right?
Absolutely. All right, guys, cool. Well, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate the time, and best of luck with the new album.
Yeah, thanks for your time too, dude.
All right, take care, guys. Peace.
See you soon, man.
All right, guys. All right, bye.